Hi everyone, welcome back to the 25 Days of Cricut Cheer. I hope you have been enjoying this series so far, and as a reminder, please be sure to share this video to let other crafters know that we are crafting for 25 days in a row for Christmas. So for this craft, I am really pumped because I purchased new stockings for our family this year, and I am absolutely in love with these. I saw these at Hobby Lobby, and I just had to have them. They are originally priced at $9.99, but everything was 40% off, so I got them around $6, which I thought was an amazing price for stockings. And they're just these knit stockings. They are so well done too. They have an inside lining as well, so they are just beautiful. And I'm not sure about you, but I love everything to match in my house. I don't know if that comes as a shock to anybody, but I love things to match. So because they're all matching, I thought I should do little name tags for our stockings so we know whose is whose, and so Santa knows whose is whose. So what we're going to do is, for this tutorial, we are going to be making little stocking name tags that are going to be placed by the stockings with our little initials on them. So luckily I thought of this in the store and knew that I was going to need some little name tags, so I was able to get inspired at the store, and I picked up a few things to bring these little tags together. The first thing I picked up, actually this was the first thing I picked up, and these are little round ornaments. They came in the Christmas section as well, and they come in a pack of 4. They're really, really cute. They have a little piece of ribbon up here, or twine up here. It's really, really pretty, and then it has a little bow. I love how these look. They're perfect. So I purchased a pack of these. Again, it comes in a set of 4, and then I thought that I would need something underneath, so I purchased these little laser wood discs, and they are perfect for going right underneath. So I am going to place our little monogram inside with vinyl, and then I'm going to hot glue our little wreath to the top of it, so that it's all one piece in the end. So I'll show you my whole process for this. It's going to be really easy. And then I am going to be using just scrap vinyl only. So I have a ton of Oracle 651 scraps. So I'm going to make sure that I use scraps only for this project, because I love making sure that I can use every bit of pieces and tiny pieces that I can, because it really brings down the cost of crafting. I also have a measuring tape and a weeding tool, and then I'm gonna have to bring in my hot glue in a little bit as well. Okay, so we have our, let's actually double check. I'm gonna go ahead and just double check how much space I have to work with here once that wreath is placed on there. And it looks like I have about 3 inches to work with. So I might even, yeah, no, 3 inches will be just about fine. Okay, so let's hop into Design Space. I'm going to show you how I'm going to get these little initials designed. I have a cute little font in mind that I think will be perfect. And then we'll get everything cut out on these little pieces of scraps, and we'll place these little name tags together, and I think they're going to be beautiful.
Okay, so now that I'm in Cricut Design Space, I'm going to come over to the text box, which is the 5th button down on the left. You'll see it with this large T. And I am going to type in TBCK, that's the first initial of all of our names. And then I am going to come up to font, and I'm going to search for Homemade Outline. And I purchased this font from Design Bundles, and it was actually in a farmhouse font bundle that I purchased it. So I'll try to find the bundle that I purchased. If not, I will try to link this font on Font Bundles. Those are sister companies, I believe, Design Bundles and Font Bundles. So I'll try to find, regardless, a link to this. It's a really cute little font. So now what I'm going to do is I want these to be individual. So I am going to go ahead and ungroup them right in the top of the layers button or panel. And I'm going to click that button, and you'll see right now they're all one layer, but when I ungroup them, they are now individual layers. Now I have 4 layers over here, and then they can be independent of one another. I'm going to also come over and create a circle and just replicate that 3 inches that I have to work with inside of my little ornament name tag, and I'll just size this up so we can really see here. Okay, so what I will do is, let me make this a lighter color. So I'm going to try to make this kind of a light wood color to kind of match what we are working with. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to size these together because I want to make sure they all match and I want them to all be consistent. So I'm going to size these down a little bit because I already know they're too big. And then I can kind of just, I'm going to right click and say send to front. I can just kind of grab the entire group and just kind of hover over there individually to see if I like that. I still think it might be a tad big, so I'm going to size down again together so that all of them are the same size. And I think this is looking good. It's at about 1.77 inches in height. So now what I can do is I can just make these a white color. I'm going to be cutting them out of white vinyl. I can hide my circle because I was just using that as a template. So I'll just click the little I button over here. And then I can make sure my Joy is selected. You can do this on any cutting machine. And then I'll say make it. I'm going to say I'm going to use on a mat because I'm just using tiny scrap materials, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my best to put these independent of one another. Actually, let me see what my scrap pieces look like. Now that I can have a little visual cutting screen, I can see which scraps that I can use. Okay, so I'm just going to put this little C right here at the 3 so I know how to line up my scraps. Everything else I can use as on a scrap piece right up here. So I'm really excited because I'm actually only using about 1.5 scrap pieces out of the 4 pieces that I brought out. So we are really using very little material, so grab your scraps if you're going to do something like this. I'm going to go ahead and say continue now that I have everything moved around where I'd like it. And then what I can do is set my material. I'm going to go ahead and use the premium vinyl setting and load my mat and cut these little letters out.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and load my mat. So look how little in terms of material that I'm using, and I still have all of this that I had set out for this project. So I am really excited to use just a tiny bit of material to bring this project to life. I'm going to go ahead and load my machine, and I'll press go on my computer and it will get cut. And then there are a couple other things that I brought in. I need a scraper tool, and then I'm going to be using some masking paper transfer tape as well. And I'll be sure to link everything in the description box below so you have a full list of what was used to bring this look together. Okay, so I'm opening up these little discs while that is cutting, and I'm thinking that I will go ahead and glue my little wreaths on top before I do my vinyl. Should I do it that way? I guess it doesn't matter because I can line it up to make sure. Because it might be easier to put the vinyl on first so that I can get a good press down on a flat surface without the wreath. So maybe I'll do that. Okay, so you can do this in any process that you would like. I'm just going to show you the way that I'm going to do it, but be sure to make tweaks and do this however you would like. Okay, so now I'm going to turn all my pieces over, and I'm just going to press down on the back just to make sure everything is where it needs to be before I start weeding. And then I can grab my weeding tool and I can weed out my little letters. Very easy. And don't forget, if you use this font, there's also a little outline inside as well. So I'll go ahead and do this set of 3 as well. This font is so cute. I love it. Okay, so now that I have all my letters weeded, I can grab my scissors and I can trim my letters apart. I like to do it after I've weeded because then I can see exactly where to cut and I don't worry about accidentally cutting into my vinyl, because that can be a little difficult on white. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do these before, I'm going to apply the vinyl before I put the little wreaths on, just because then I have a nice flat surface to scrape on and I think it'll be a lot easier. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this masking transfer tape, and it's really easy to reuse as well. I'm just going to place it on top of my vinyl, give it a good press down to make sure that the vinyl and the transfer tape meet. And this is going to be what takes the vinyl off of that cutting sheet so that we can transfer it over to our project, which is why it's called transfer tape. Okay, so now what I can do is I can actually just place my wreath on here so that I can get an idea of where this goes. So I'm just going to trim down the bottom of this a little bit because it's a little tall and it's interfering with the sides of my wreath. Okay, so now I'll just kind of place that in the middle and get an idea if that looks good or not. I think that looks good. Okay, so I can take my little wreath off. Okay, I might need to go up just a little bit now that I have the wreath off of there. Okay, so I'm just lightly laying that down, and then I'm setting my wreath over it to be sure that I like it, and I can even tilt it up to see if I like it. Okay, that looks good. So I'm just going to press it down with my fingers, scrape it down, and then I can peel that transfer tape up, and I have my first little disc with my little initial on there. Okay, so now I will go ahead and do the next one. Now you can paint these if you'd like. I like this natural look. It's really fitting for how I decorate, so I'm just left them natural, but you can paint them if you'd like and use any type of vinyl color that you would like to. Okay, so then just scraping down, removing the cutting sheet, and then again just kind of lightly placing this in place. And then I'll put my little wreath over there to make sure I like how it's placed in there. That looks good. And then I'll scrape it down. So I'll go ahead and finish the last two really quick, and then we'll get the wreaths placed on. Okay, so I have my last little name tag all made, and I used the same piece of transfer tape for all of them. Now it has definitely lost its stick, so I can toss it, but I was able to use this tiny little piece for all four. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue with hot glue my little wreaths on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot glue, make sure it is all hot at this point, and I'm just going to put a little bead around the perimeter here. Try not to touch that hot glue, it's so hot. Okay, just gonna put it around the perimeter here, and then really quickly before it dries, I'm just going to set my little wreath right on top of there. Okay, so that looks really, really cute. And you'll see when you turn it around, you have just a little bit of area to work with. So you'll want to place, if you're using the same sizes and products I'm using, you're going to want to put that glue on the very most perimeter of the disc. So I'm going to do a little bit of a better job with this one because I think I got it too close to the center on the last one, but I'm just going to make sure that it really goes as close to that edge as possible. I'm trying to go quickly so that my glue doesn't dry, and I think that's good. Okay, so then lining it up, making sure my bow is lined up, and then just pressing down. I think the size of those little letters is so cute. It's a little hard to see the letters on camera, but in person they're really obvious, so don't worry. I can see them just fine. Sometimes with just the craft lighting, it can be a little hard to see the lighter colors, but I love how that turned out. Oh my gosh, these look so cute. I love it when you finally see your vision come together on a plan that you've had. Okay, so I'm just going to continue, again, going on the outermost. And I'm sure you can purchase larger discs if you'd like. These were just close enough for me, and they were there, and it was the only size they had that I could see. So they worked perfectly. Okay, and then lining up that bow. Let's see, I think I want to go this way actually. Lining up that bow and pressing down. Okay, and these are really on there, so that hot glue is doing an amazing job. That's really, really on there. Okay, so that is the third one, and we have our final. Okay, so here's how they turned out. I think they turned out so sweet. So there is a little tag to hang the stocking, a little loop up here. So what I'll do is I will just also loop this little name tag right with that same loop, and then they'll hang together when we hang them up on the mantle. So I think these are beautiful. They're exactly how I hoped that they would turn out. I love this. Be sure to put your own spin on it if you want to use different colors or do any painting, but this is the exact look that I'm going for. I tend to do more soft colors in my decor, so this is why I decorated mine this way. And it's a little hard to see the white on camera, but in person it has really good contrast, so just know. So it really looks sweet and perfect. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please be sure to share this video, give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you think, and I will see you guys all in the next video.